Alright guys, today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. So if you've watched this video, you will know that I have noticed a lot of people in the magic space don't really look after their health. And as someone that works in the welfare industry and has done for the past 3 years, this upsets me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So I thought, why not come on here, share my knowledge with you guys, and you can take the knowledge from someone that is a fellow Magic the Gathering player. I have been that stereotypical nerd where, you know, you're just super, just not confident. For me, I was just scrawny, not a muscle to my name, just didn't really feel much of a man, and look for an escape of that pain through like stuff like card games and stuff like that. But that isn't always the healthiest solution. So eventually one day I had to pluck up the courage to start to make these changes in my life, and it has changed my life forever, and I want to help you guys do the same. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, why should you guys listen to someone like me? As I said, I do work in the welfare industry. I worked as a personal trainer for 2 years at a gym called Nuffield Health in the UK. I worked with countless clients, whether it would be helping them lose weight, building muscle, building self-confidence in the gym, you know, whatever it is, I've done it all. I currently at the moment work as a yoga teacher. The reason for my shift from personal training into yoga is just at the time it was a better gig for me. I was able to make more money doing less teaching yoga than PT. When I was in my gym, I had to do a lot of gym floor hours. This was essentially for like minimum wage, just wiping down treadmills. It was not fun. So the time I was working with clients, I loved, but the time I wasn't, it was not great, guys. So eventually I just decided to stay with yoga, as my gym did close after a few years anyway. So instead of trying to look for a new gym, I just decided to go into yoga. Now I'm currently working towards a health coach qualification because I want to start helping people with more than just exercise. I want to go more into sleep, nutrition, all that stuff. Now, as I said, I was that nerd, guys. I was that nerd who I would look in myself in my mirror and quite literally, I hated the way I looked, guys. I hated the way I looked. I thought no woman would ever love me, and I just felt deeply insecure. And because I was a nerd, there's more reasons why I just thought, you know, like I was never gonna be worthy of love. It sounds pathetic, but I think there's probably people out there that can relate to what I'm saying. So eventually I decided to start making my health more of a priority. I had to confront that dragon. It was really scary, but I am so glad that I did. It has changed my life, and I want to help you guys do the same. So let's start by just making it nice and simple. We're going to talk about the 3 pillars of health, and that is exercise, sleep, and nutrition. First one is exercise. Guys, you gotta start exercising. You gotta start moving your body. It doesn't matter whether you're lifting weights or you're doing like circuit training or you're doing yoga or martial arts. It does not matter what you want to do. Just pick something that appeals to you. A lot of it will be dependent on your goals as well. If you're just trying to be healthier, that's going to be something different than if you're trying to recomp your body and change the way you look. Maybe you want to delve more into performance, you want to learn a skill. It's lots of different stuff, right? So let's just go briefly over the 3 that I love, and that is weightlifting, yoga, and martial arts. So I do all of these at the moment. I don't recommend that you start with all 3. Just pick one and then go from there. So let's start with weights. That was the first one that I started. The reason I did that is because I wanted to change the way I looked. As I said, I was really scrawny, skinny, not a muscle to my name at all. So I wanted to change that. So I started to lift weights, guys. Now, when I first walked into the gym, I was terrified. My objective was just to go in, sign up, become a member, and then leave. And that is exactly what I did. The next day, I walked in. I had these 5 exercises on this like little beginner's workout plan that I had on this app from my phone. And I looked at that and I did 2 of those exercises. No more. The others, there was people around there and I had no idea how to use a bench press. And I wasn't about to go and try and use a bench press when there was people watching me. So I probably just went and did like a bicep curl and a leg extension and then went home. But I'd done some exercise and I had never done exercise really that much before. So it was a big thing for me. The next day, I was a little bit more confident. And then I did probably about 3 exercises. And slowly, I just started to work towards completing a full workout. That was the objective. Can I go in and do a full workout? 5 exercises, boom. And I did one day. And once I did, I felt so good in myself. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you guys to have the mindset of the action is the goal. Don't worry too much about, oh, I want to get to this point. If you've never done anything like this before, just turning up is going to be a big deal for you. Make that the goal. Break your goal down into these smaller little objectives, okay? So if you get into the gym and you sign up, that is great, guys. You've already made a huge step in the right direction. Now, yoga is a really good one if you want something more well-rounded. Yoga is going to introduce you to so much more than just physical health. It's going to help with your mental health. It's going to introduce you to meditation. It's going to help with like recovery as well. It's going to help you feel better in your body. So like if you spend a lot of time like hunched over, sat in a chair, it's going to open up your body. It's going to improve your posture. You're going to be doing a lot of like body weight stuff. So you're not going to injure yourself really doing yoga. I mean, you can injure yourself doing any exercise, but it's much less likely in yoga. So, you know, you're not going to completely transform the way you look with yoga, but it is got so many benefits that it would be definitely worth considering giving a go. And then the next one is martial arts. Now, this is easily the most intense one out of the three. It's the most intimidating option, in my opinion. It's the one that I've only recently just started doing because I wanted to confront that demon. I wanted to confront that dragon where, you know, I'd built my physique, I'd done yoga and found a lot of mental health benefits, but there was something more. You know, I still didn't really feel much of a man. I wanted to be able to feel like I could handle myself and protect someone that I love. So I wanted to get into martial arts. And the best way to do this is to just pick one that you think is maybe the coolest. I would recommend that you pick one that is a combat sport. So you actually spar with other people. If you're doing a martial art where you never really like practice with someone else, then it's not going to be that applicable in a real life situation. So I wouldn't recommend it. So stuff like Kung Fu, not hating on Kung Fu, but you don't really spar anyone else in Kung Fu. So what is the likelihood that you're going to be able to apply what you know in a real life situation if you need to, say, protect someone? You're going to feel a lot less confident, put it that way. Whereas if you do something like I do Muay Thai, but anything like Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, you are in that confrontational situation all the time. You are in a situation where, you know, you get used to getting punched, kicked and stuff like that. You get used to it, you get comfortable with it. So it's going to do wonders for your confidence, especially as a man. Okay, so that's exercise. Now let's talk about nutrition. Okay, nice and simple, guys. Don't overcomplicate nutrition. If you start looking into it, there's going to be all these diets. Don't eat this, don't eat that. This is giving you cancer. This is making you this. If you're eating like crap already, if you just start to eat a little bit better, a little bit healthier, then you're already like well ahead. Okay, so don't worry. So where do you start? If you're trying to lose weight, just start becoming calorie conscious, guys. Start becoming aware of what you're eating. Start looking at the backs of bottles and stuff like that and just looking at the calories, right? For example, if you're eating a meal and you're squirting loads of mayonnaise on there and you're trying to lose weight, look at how much calories is in mayonnaise, guys, right? And if you love mayonnaise, buy the 0% fat mayonnaise, okay? Or the 0.5% fat mayonnaise. It's just about cutting those calories down. Think of your calories like almost like a resource, right? You're trying to spend that resource wisely and efficiently, okay? If you're going to consume calories, make sure it's worth what you're consuming. If you eat a lot of processed food, just try and start eating more whole foods. Get into cooking. Start learning how to cook meals, healthy meals, you know, with like, you know, just meat, veg, and a carb. Like, if you just follow that and you cook for yourself more than like you eat out, you're probably going to be feeling a lot better. You probably will consume less calories as well by default if you do your own cooking compared to if you are eating like loads of processed food and stuff like that. Now, I don't want to go too much into this because it is quite a broad topic, okay? But just start to eat a little bit cleaner, become aware of what you're eating, and you're going to see a lot of benefit. Last one we're going to talk about is sleep. And this is the one that is easily the most undervalued, guys. It is so important. It affects everything, okay? From your physical health, for your mental health, your energy levels, everything, guys. If you are not sleeping, you are not giving the body the resources it needs to do these challenging things. What is the likelihood that you're going to have the motivation and energy to go do a workout if you are sleep deprived? The answer, slim to none. Listen, if magic needs to be your motivation, you're not playing your best game if parts of your brain are asleep while you're playing, which is what happens, by the way. If you're sleep deprived, your brain literally takes micro sleeps, okay? Parts of your brain shuts down during the day to try and catch up on sleep. That is not something you want in the middle of a commander game when you're trying to pop off, trying to keep track of what your opponent's doing and stuff like that. We need that brain to be working functionally, guys. So get your sleep in. It's so important for mood. If you're struggling with anxiety, depression, there are direct links to sleep, anxiety, and depression. They're so connected that it's crazy. Okay, so please prioritize your sleep. Get your 8 hours sleep. Set an alarm so you get up at the same time every day. Don't have your sleep up and down. Obviously, not everyone can do this. If you're, say, a parent of a newborn baby, or if you work shift work, this is going to be super hard, which I understand. But just try your best to make sure you are not sleep depriving yourself, okay? Don't just be like going to bed once you feel like exhausted. Do you know what I mean? Like, just try to get some consistency. You're going to be tired for the first few days if you set an early alarm, and then eventually your body will start to catch up and you'll start to go to bed at the same time. You're waking up at the same time, and you're going to get those 8 hours in, and you're going to feel a lot better for it. So guys, that was just the 3 pillars of health that I wanted to talk to you about today. I hope maybe if you were on the fence about starting this like health journey, that this made it a little bit less daunting, showed you that, you know, someone like you, like as in me, a fellow magic nerd, has done this, and I can honestly tell you that it has changed my life. I could never go back to the way I was, and I strongly recommend that you do this. It's just gonna positively impact your life. You are not gonna fit into that negative stereotype of a magic player, which I think is actually really important that we as a community start to come away from. I just think it would be better for everyone. So yeah, guys, let me know if you enjoyed the video. You want to see more of this kind of content. Would love to make it for you guys. Other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.